So my great grandmother died like 3-4 months ago in the month of May. When she died, she was 94, and I think it's a good number to have lived. So my great grandmother was one of the strongest person I have seen in my life, and I've experienced a person who has been so strong. I've lived with that person. I've seen the ups and downs of the person, and seeing her lifestyle, seeing what she does and why she does and all that. So she really used to inspire me in a lot of things. So I thought, why not, just as this channel of mine is about learning new things, it's about, lessons from people, from books, from all these different kind of places. So I'm starting a new series called Lessons Learned from People. Like, it can be my friends, it can be my relatives, it can be a lot of random people whom I meet in my day-to-day life and stuff. If there's something that I have learned from them, I'm gonna share it with you guys here. Hey friends, what's going on? Hi, this is Saad back again with another video. This video is about lessons that I've learned from my great grandmother. Number one is that life is unfair, and it's okay because you cannot do much about it. You cannot correct it in any way. Life just happens, whether it is fair to you or whether it is unfair to you. And my great grandmother, when she got married, she lost her husband soon after she got married, like after like a year or something. And she was just like a teenager, because back then child marriage was allowed in India, and she was a teenager when she got married. When my grandmother lost her husband, she was pregnant, and she had no means, nothing in this world, and like she definitely had some relatives, but she, a person who is so young, and a person who is pregnant, and for a person who has lost so important person of her life, it really must have been a very shattering and a groundbreaking experience. But soon after her husband died, she gave birth to her daughter, the only daughter which she had, and then she managed to live her life some way or the other, making ends meet, and trying to get some money, and to feed her daughter and to live her life in any way that she possibly could. Now my grandmother also, when she was very young, before her marriage, she had lost her father at a very young age because of some accident or something. Now, dealing with all these problems, she somehow managed to live her life and raise her child, and make ends meet. But she chose not to marry any other man because it was not the right thing for her, which she felt according to her to do. So she just tried to stay single with the daughter and live her life like that. Most of her relatives were in some other city of the country, and so she didn't have access to the relatives, and she had to do most of her things by her own, and managed to earn her own bread, and deal with all the ups and downs of life. My great grandmother, when she grew old, she managed to make some property, and have some flats on rent, which where she used to get some rent, and she used to live her life and all. But when she grew older, she lost her brothers and sisters, siblings, which were in different cities, and she also lost her daughter when she was around 60s or 70s. By the time she was 85 or something, she had lost her daughter already, her husband when she was younger, her son-in-law also, and basically every person who were directly related to her were all dead, and she was all alone in this world. Most of her friends were dead, most of her acquaintance and all, people whom she knew and used to meet on a regular basis were all dead, and she had a very lonely life. But still she managed to smile and live life. Second lesson, I think, is modesty. My grandmother, when she grew older, she collected a lot of money. She used to save a lot of money. She made properties, but she used to dress so modestly, always in a white sari, and with very off-whitish and very pale colors. No one would ever think of her as a person who has millions of rupees. But you know, with the way she used to dress, but the way she used to, you know, live her life, no one could ever make it that she has so much money. She was so humble, she was so modest, from the way she used to talk, from the way she used to dress, with every single thing. She was always a very modest person. The third thing that she taught us was generosity. That you should always have a mindset of giving things to people around you, whether it's food, whether it's you know, your money, whether it's anything that is close to you, to always give people and things around. One of the greatest habits that I've seen her practice is that whenever she used to have food, she used to always feed you know, birds and cats around her place. So whenever she used to eat food, she used to, you know, feed cats and birds from her own plate after she was completed eating. And that was so beautiful. And I remember every single time the cats and, you know, the birds used to wait for her after lunch and after dinner so she could feed them, because she used to feed them on a regular basis. And it was such a weird connection she had with these animals. At the beginning, we used to think that she's wasting food and throwing it somewhere, taking it somewhere and throwing it. But then when we figured out that she is feeding, you know, birds and cats with the extra food she's taking, or maybe from her own plate, we really were moved by the entire idea. And even today, you know, cats and the birds, you know, they sometimes wait for her. I don't know. They just come and, you know, kind of wait for her, that maybe someone's going to throw fruit from that window. And yeah, maybe we sometimes throw it, but you know, we almost always forget. Another very beautiful thing she had was courage. Now maybe she has had such a, you know, rough life, you know, a lot of ups and downs, that she, you know, had so much courage to deal with her problems in her own ways. And you know, I remember anytime she was around anyone, you know, she always used to stand up and speak for herself and speak the right things, because she never used to care about whom she's speaking to or what is the person saying. If the person is saying wrong and if it doesn't make sense to her, she used to always stand up and tell the truth and tell the right thing according to her. And that was so amazing. Like, most people used to be afraid of her because of her courage. She used to think that no one can ever do harm to her without the will of God. And this was a very strong belief she had. And this belief, I think, was one of the main reasons she had so much courage, and she used to deal with all her problems on herself, by herself. And I think it was one of the most beautiful thing about her. So I hope you guys like this video. If you want to watch more videos like this about lessons learned from people, then let me know in the comment section below. Also, let me know how you feel about this video. Like the video if you like it, share it with your friends and family. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because it would mean the world to me. And yeah, see you in the next video, guys. I hope you have a nice day and a nice week. Goodbye.